Jeff Bezos, the man who revolutionized shopping, space travel, and even how we think about wealth. But with a fortune most of us can't even fathom. How does he actually spend it? Let's break it down. Whether traveling for business between the different Amazon facilities in Western US, Luxembourg, and India, or finding time to attend events on the billionaire's social calendar, Jeff Bezos is often on the go. And sometimes, with so many obligations, commercial aviation doesn't cut it for the world's most prosperous. Time is the only asset we can't get back, so it's no wonder the former CEO chose two Gulfstream G650ER jets as his fleet. In 2015, Bezos replaced his Dassault Falcon 900EX with a new G650ER before purchasing a second in 2019, both under his holding company. The capable aircraft once shattered records for speed and range, though these records now belong to the Bombardier Global 8000. Equipped with two Rolls-Royce BR725 engines, providing 16,900 pounds of takeoff thrust each, the G650ER can travel 7,500 nautical miles, reaching heights of 51,000 feet between Mach 0.85 and 0.925. One of these jets ordered from Gulfstream Aerospace will run you at least $65 million, though optional enhancements can add on an extra few million. Although we can't be sure of the upgrades Bezos chose for his fleet, Gulfstream advertises at least 4 configurations, though the company may have designed something custom. Standard options include forward galley and crew compartment configuration with 3 living areas with 13 seats that turn into 6 beds. Same as above, but with an aft galley. Smaller forward galley with no dedicated crew seat. 17 total seats that make 7 beds across 4 living areas. Aft galley with no crew compartment, providing 3.5 living quarters featuring 15 seats that become 6 beds. Comfort for all, from tail to flight deck. The interior is bound to be extravagant, no matter your chosen configuration. Each model has 2 luxurious lavatories and 1 or 2 couches, certified for takeoff and landing, that facilitate a conference scenario or comfortable movie area. Every seat is made of fine leather and has a width of 28 inches. For reference, economy seats on a 3-class Emirates A380 are 18 inches wide, and first-class suites have chairs 23 inches across. It's safe to say that no matter where it goes, the G650 is ready for the challenge. Priced at $500 million, the Kourou hit the sea for the first time in 2023 and has since ferried Jeff Bezos and company around the globe. Complete with 3 massive 229-foot masts, it can reach a top speed under sail of 20 knots, which is approximately 23 miles per hour. Made for a group, up to 18 guests can set sail on the yacht, allowing Bezos to bring family and friends on vacation with him. Here's a look at the Kourou's extravagant features and how much it costs to operate his floating mansion. Key features. As expected, Bezos' yacht is dripping with luxury. With a net worth of $203.8 billion as of May 4th, 2024, he can afford to outfit the Kourou with nothing but the best, and he did just that. The super yacht has 3 outdoor decks, with 2 containing swimming pools. It also features a cinema, several lounges, and multiple business areas. Highly personalized, the yacht is complete with a figurehead modeled after Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez. Even its masts are luxurious, as the Amazon founder chose in-boom furlers, which keep the canvases at the bottom of the mast above the deck, creating a pristine and spacious rope-free deck. On-board crew. It probably isn't a surprise that operating both the Kourou and the Abiona is no small task. From staff to drive the boats and maintain them to caring for guests on board, Bezos needs a small army at sea. The Kourou has a crew of up to 36 people. If you think that's a lot, the Abiona requires up to 45 crew and support staff. Support vessel. One of the most shocking features of the Kourou is the fact that it requires its own support vessel. The $75 million Aviona features a helipad that Sanchez has been spotted using to park her personal helicopter, annual operating costs purchasing the Kourou. And Aviona cost Bezos more than $500 million, but his expenses didn't end there. As you might imagine, the annual cost to maintain a super yacht and its own enormous supporting yacht is more than most people earn in a lifetime. The Kourou costs approximately $25 million in operating expenses per year. Much less, but still sky high, Bezos spends around $5 to $10 million on annual maintenance costs for the Aviona. While 1 week of storage might be more than the average person can afford, picking up the tab for any number of weeks would clearly be no issue for Bezos. While his super yacht and the many expenses surrounding it are clearly astronomical, he's still living well within his budget. Beverly Hills, where the large compound is located, has long been considered an extremely wealthy area in Los Angeles County. Reports vary on how much the Beverly Hills compound cost, with some saying Bezos had to hand over $165 million. The property sprawls roughly 10 acres. Close to its mansion, it boasts a pool with a diving board and a shallow area for lounging in the water, according to X17 online photos. Nearby, there is also a large pergola. Areas to play sports like tennis and basketball are also reportedly present on the grounds along with other buildings. As for the mansion sitting on the property, it consists of several stories and significant square footage. The world's third richest man reportedly purchased 2 properties in the affluent Seattle suburb of Medina in 1998 and 2005, for which he paid a combined $60 million. Following a massive mid-2000s renovation of the lots, the primary residence is now a 25,000 square foot Tudor-style mansion with 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms. It also includes an indoor and outdoor pool, a large guest house, and waterfront access to Lake Washington. The second property has an elaborately landscaped garden and another sizable house that Bezos reportedly used as his office. The properties have significant waterfront access to Lake Washington, including 2 large jetties, a boat shed, and a small water slide. The main house boasts both an indoor and an outdoor pool. Significant renovations made to the property in 2010 are estimated to have cost $28 million, for a total of $88 million spent on the estate, $118 million adjusting for inflation. Medina Peninsula is accessible from Seattle via the longest floating bridge in the world, which spans 7,710 feet across Lake Washington. The Tony Peninsula is also famously home to Bill Gates, where he lived for many years with his now ex-wife Melinda. The 3-bedroom property on the man-made barrier island sits on 2.8 acres and was built in 1965. It was previously owned by a company with ties to Panama called MTM Star International, which obtained it for $1.4 million in 1982. The Amazon founder, who has been living the good life with fiancée Lauren Sanchez since his retirement from the company, is looking to buy other properties in the area. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos said, "On Wednesday, he is selling about $1 billion worth of the internet retailer's stock annually to fund his Blue Origin rocket company, which aims to launch paying passengers on 11-minute space rides starting next year." Blue Origin had hoped to begin test flights with company pilots and engineers in 2017, but that probably will not happen until next year, Bezos told reporters at the annual U.S. Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. "My business model right now for Blue Origin is I sell about $1 billion of Amazon stock a year, and I use it to invest in Blue Origin," said Bezos, the chief executive of Amazon.com and also the owner of the Washington Post newspaper. Ultimately, the plan is for Blue Origin to become a profitable, self-sustaining enterprise with a long-term goal to cut the cost of spaceflight so that millions of people can live and work off Earth, Bezos said. At the symposium, Bezos showed off a mock-up of the passenger capsule, which sports 6 reclined seats, each with its own large window. Also on display was a scorched New Shepard booster rocket that was retired in October after 5 flights. Like fellow tech entrepreneur Elon Musk, founder and chief executive of SpaceX, Bezos says that reusability is the key to cutting the cost of space flight. Last week, SpaceX relaunched a rocket for an unprecedented second mission to put a spacecraft into orbit. The engineering approach is a little different, but we're very like-minded. Bezos said of Musk, "Blue Origin is developing a second launch system to carry satellites and eventually people into orbit, similar to SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Dragon capsule. Development costs for that system, known as New Glenn, will be about $2.5 billion. There is no estimate yet for how much Bezos will invest overall on Blue Origin, but Bezos has indicated he will spend what it takes." Jeff Bezos had purchased the Post for $250 million in 2013, less than a year after Mr. Barron had taken over. Mr. Bezos, who arrived at media ownership after founding Amazon and remaking online shopping, wanted his top editor to transform the newspaper from a regional news organization into a truly global one. Mr. Bezos has said he wants the Post to be profitable, but it is unlikely to reach that target this year. The Post is on a pace to lose about $100 million in 2023, according to 2 people with knowledge of the company's finances. 2 other people briefed on the situation said the company was expecting to miss its forecasts for ad revenue this year. They spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal financial matters. The Post has struggled to increase the number of its paying customers since the 2020 election, when its digital subscriptions peaked at 3 million. It now has around 2.5 million. A spokesperson for Mr. Bezos declined to make him available for an interview. Patty Stonesifer, the Post's interim chief executive, said Mr. Bezos was happy with every dollar invested in the company. "I'm very enthusiastic about what we can do here at the Washington Post in the decade ahead," Ms. Stonesifer said in a statement. Jeff's second decade of ownership of the Post should be even more exciting. In September, Amazon announced a pledge to meet the goals of the Paris Climate Agreement 10 years early and to be carbon neutral by 2040. In the announcement, Amazon said it was launching a $100 million fund to restore and protect forests and wetlands. Bezos also pledged to measure and report Amazon's emissions on a regular basis, implement decarbonization strategies, and alter companies' business strategies to offset remaining emissions. That announcement came as more than 1,700 Amazon employees were set to walk out on the job September. 20 to support global climate change marches and to call on the company to do more. In May, thousands of employees submitted a proposal asking Bezos to develop a comprehensive climate change plan and reduce Amazon's carbon footprint. The proposal was ultimately rejected. Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos says he is giving $2 billion to start a fund that will open preschools in low-income neighborhoods and give money to nonprofits that helps homeless families. The fight soured many more locales on Amazon and Bezos and also overshadowed the growing portfolio of philanthropy they had done in the city. The most notable involving more than $40 million to the local nonprofit Fair Start, a hospitality training program and restaurant business that aims to combat homelessness and poverty, and Mary's Place, whose mission to find and provide shelter for every child. In addition to millions in cash, both nonprofits have been granted prime real estate in Amazon building spaces to do their work. The foundation stepped up to help Seattle when the city worked to launch its universal pre-K program in 2014. The foundation helped fund a fact-finding trip to visit government-subsidized model programs in Boston, New York, and New Jersey, according to Tim Burgess, then a city council member who created the Seattle Preschool Program. The Bezos Family Foundation, and Jeff obviously has a role in that, has been engaged with early learning initiatives for years now, Burgess said, adding that it could only help the political momentum toward universal pre-K, as Seattle's preschool program is also once again on the ballot in November. Bezos hinted earlier this year that he would take on a major philanthropic project after asking his Twitter followers for ideas on how to give away his money. In January, Bezos also personally gave $33 million in college scholarships for young immigrants living in the U.S. illegally. Jeff Bezos is building a clock that makes the average wristwatch seem trivial. In a 2023 Lex Fridman podcast episode, Bezos delved into the concept behind his $42 million project, the 10,000-year clock. Nestled inside a mountain in West Texas, this engineering marvel ticks once a year, chimes every century, and showcases a cuckoo every millennium. Why? Bezos explains it's a bold symbol to shift humanity's focus toward long-term thinking, a concept he believes is critical in a rapidly evolving world. The clock itself is no small feat. Standing 500 feet tall and carved into a remote mountain, the design includes precision mechanics powered by natural thermal cycles. Materials like marine-grade stainless steel and high-tech ceramics were chosen to ensure it lasts 10,000 years with no human intervention. As Bezos described, the clock will accrue the patina of age and eventually become a living piece of history, inspiring future civilizations. The clock's features are as mind-bending as its timeline. 5 chambers mark milestones, including 1 and 10,000-year anniversaries. A custom orrery will even track planetary movements and past interplanetary probes. Legendary musician Brian Eno contributed a chime generator capable of producing 3.5 million unique bell sequences, ensuring no sound repeats in any human lifetime. This larger-than-life clock isn't just about engineering marvels or philosophical musings. It's also a testament to humanity's potential to think beyond the now. Whether it's climate change, global conflict, or existential threats, Bezos believes the solutions begin with a shift in perspective. No doubt the beneficiaries of multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos' new philanthropic fund will agree. The richest man in the world announced on Thursday that he would give $2 billion, 1.5 billion pounds of his fortune, to finance a network of preschools and tackle homelessness in America. But far from being universally applauded, the Amazon founder's pledge was met with fierce criticism. James Bloodworth, a writer who went undercover to expose working conditions at the company's fulfillment centers, said there was something slightly ironic about Mr. Bezos' plan. There have been credible reports of Amazon warehouse workers sleeping outside in tents because they can't afford to rent homes on the wages paid to them by the company. He told the BBC, Jeff Bezos can tout himself as a great philanthropist, yet it will not absolve him of responsibility if Amazon workers continue to be afraid to take toilet breaks and days off sick because they fear disciplinary action at work. Jeff Bezos' billions give him the power to shape the future in ways few can imagine. Whether you see him as a visionary or a man who could do more, his spending choices reveal a lot about his priorities. What would you do if you had his fortune?